Today, we're diving into a book that didn't just change our view of the universe, it completely blew it up and gave us a new one. We're talking about Edwin Hubble's 1936 masterpiece, The Realm of the Nebula. It took these blurry little smudges in the night sky and turned them into, well, a reality that is still kind of hard to wrap your head around. So, let's get into it. So this was the big question on every astronomer's mind back in the 1920s. You look up through a telescope and you see these fuzzy, mysterious smudges. But what in the world were they? I mean, the answer to that question would either tell us we were at the center of everything, or it would reveal a cosmos so much bigger than anyone had ever dared to dream. All right, so to really appreciate the breakthrough, you have to understand the mystery itself. Before Hubble came along, our cosmic address was pretty simple, We lived in the Milky Way galaxy, and for most people, that was it. That was the entire universe. And these faint patches of light, they were called nebulae. Now, there were two main camps. One theory was that they were just clouds of gas and dust kind of swirling around inside our own Milky Way. But then there was this other, much crazier idea, that they were island universes, entire galaxies just like ours, but unbelievably far away. The problem? Nobody could prove it one way or the other. And this is where our cosmic detective Edwin Hubble steps onto the scene. And man, he showed up at the absolute perfect time with a totally fresh perspective and, more importantly, a revolutionary new tool to crack this case wide open. And you have to understand the ideas we're talking about today, this wasn't just some paper he published. This all started as a series of super prestigious lectures at Yale University. So this was the absolute cutting edge of science, being presented by the guy who was literally drawing a new map of the cosmos as he spoke. Hubble's secret weapon was this absolute beast of a machine, the 100-inch Hooker telescope. At the time, it was the biggest and most powerful telescope on the planet, period. It let me see deeper into space, and with more clarity, than any human being had in all of history. All of a sudden, those fuzzy smudges started to look like individual stars. But Hubble himself was quick to point out, he even quotes Newton in the book, that he knew he wasn't doing this alone. Science is this incredible relay race across generations. He was just the next guy in line to grab the baton, and with this new telescope, he was about to take a giant leap. So how did he actually do it? How did he finally solve the riddle of the nebulae? Well, the very first step was figuring out a reliable way to measure the, frankly, ridiculous distances across space. And to even talk about those distances, we need a whole new yardstick. Forget miles or kilometers, we have to use the light year. That's the distance that light, the fastest thing there is, can travel in one entire year. And it's a number so huge it almost doesn't mean anything, about 6 trillion miles. But it's the only scale that makes sense when you're measuring the universe. Now, the crucial piece of the puzzle, the clue that Hubble used, was this special type of star he spotted inside the Andromeda Nebula. It's called a Cepheid variable, and these stars are amazing. They literally pulse. They get brighter, then dimmer, at a super regular rhythm. And here's the magic trick. The faster a Cepheid pulses, the brighter it truly is. That means they are a perfect cosmic yardstick. So Hubble pointed his telescope at Andromeda, found a Cepheid star, and carefully measured how fast it was pulsing. From that, he could figure out its true brightness. And when he compared that to how dim it looked from Earth, the math gave him a number that just changed everything: 700,000. 700,000 light years away. Now think about this. At the time, we thought our entire Milky Way was maybe 100,000 light years across. So if this thing was 700,000 light years away, there was no way it was inside our galaxy. The conclusion was just inescapable. The Andromeda Nebula wasn't a little cloud in our backyard. It was a massive, sprawling island universe, a whole other galaxy. And just like that, mystery solved. But hold on, because this story doesn't end there. Not even close. See, as Hubble started studying all these brand new galaxies, he noticed something really, really weird about their light. And it led him to a discovery that would change physics forever. What he saw was that the light from basically every galaxy was redshifted. Its light waves were stretched out. It's kind of like when an ambulance drives away from you and the siren's pitch gets lower and lower. Same idea, but with light. And even more amazing, he saw a clear pattern. The more distant a galaxy was,
the bigger its redshift was.
The relationship he found was stunningly clear. You look at a nearby galaxy, and yeah, it has a small redshift, so it's moving away from us, but kind of slowly. Then you look at a super distant galaxy, and it has this huge redshift. It's not just moving away, it's racing away from us at an incredible speed. There was a direct, undeniable link between a galaxy's distance and how fast it was speeding away. And in the book, Hubble lays it out with this beautiful scientific understatement. He says, redshifts are an approximately linear function of distances. Now, that might sound dry, but it's one of the most profound statements in the history of science. It means this isn't random. It's a fundamental rule of the cosmos.
So what on Earth could this mean? If almost every galaxy is flying away from us, and the ones that are farthest away are flying away the fastest, well, it can only point to one absolutely mind-bending conclusion. The entire universe is expanding. The very fabric of space itself is stretching, and it's carrying all the galaxies along for the ride.
Hubble's work didn't just add a few new places to the old cosmic map. No, it was more like he took the old map, threw it in the trash can, and forced us to draw a brand new one from scratch, one that was bigger, weirder, and more alive than we had ever imagined. So let's just recap this incredible detective story real quick. It started with a mystery. What are these fuzzy things in the sky? The key clue was a special kind of pulsing star that worked like a yardstick. That led to the verdict. Those smudges are actually other galaxies, completely shattering the idea that we were alone. But then came the huge twist. All of those galaxies are rushing away from each other, which gave us our new reality. We live in a vast, expanding universe. I mean, think about it. In the space of just a few years, Edwin Hubble completely rewrote our story. He proved we're not the center of anything, we're just one tiny island of stars among literally billions of others, all drifting apart on this expanding cosmic ocean. It just makes you wonder, right? What's out there, right now, just waiting to be discovered? That's going to make us throw out our map and start all over again.